The final round of the season is here, and the stakes have never been higher. There is 9 teams in the mix, which means every kick, every goal, and every percentage point from here on in will matter. Adelaide, they have a huge shot at minor premiership glory. Brisbane have a bid to double chance lock in their finals, and Gold Coast have a catch-up game that sees them play their first ever September. Round 24 has it all, and it has an elimination final between the Dogs and the Fremantle. We're breaking down and giving you the FAQ of every single scenario, who can climb, who can crash, and why every result matters. So grab your lather predictor, your pen and paper, let's run that intro and get into it. So currently on top of the ladder, we've got the Crows. They've played 22 games, won 17, lost 5. They are on 68 points with a healthy percentage of 141, and they've got North at the Marvel. Their destiny's firmly in their hands. Their meteoric rise from this time last year being 15th to the precipice of a minor premiership and potential premiership glory. Nixie's side has probably been the most, I would say, adaptive this season, from the early season of kicking multiple goals to now having one of the world's most rigid defences. They are definitely the favourites to finish number 1. It's obvious their best case scenario is obviously first, beating North. It's all in their hands. They become the minor premiers for this year. That will be huge, but obviously going into September is the most important. Worst case, they'll finish second. Should the unthinkable happen and the Roos win, let's be honest, you're going to have to summon some ghosts of the past to pull that one off. But they should be able to do it. But if they lose and Geelong dispatch Richmond, Crows will slip to second. They'll still a home final, but that minor premier thing just gives you a kind of edge, doesn't it, in finals, and a little bit of momentum. Geelong Cats up next. They've played 22, won 16, lost 6, 64 points, very healthy percentage, 140.7, and they play at the MCG against Richmond. They're circling another top 2 finish, and Chris Scott literally is used to these positions. They got over a very tough trip against Sydney and banked not only 4 points, but massively boost their percentage. Now, obviously, the best case scenario, if Adelaide inexplicably fall to North, Geelong only have to beat Richmond, and they will be the minor premiers. However, it gets interesting. Should they lose to the Tigers and Brisbane, with their Gabba Fortress, win their game, they will leapfrog them into second, meaning the worst place that they will finish is third. It would take something extreme, though, to happen for this, but it is a very big likelihood should Richmond and North do the unthinkable. Absolutely fascinating, this, that they are pretty much locked in the top 2, but there is a chance. Brisbane, they've played 22, finished 15th, currently third, drawn 1, lost 6, 62 points, 114 percentage, and they've got Hawthorn at the Gabba. The reigning premiers have had some slips and slides, but no doubt about it, when they're playing on their form, they are brilliant. The demolition of Fremantle absolutely made everyone stand up and take notice. They have been incredibly impressive, surviving injuries and blips in form, but they are there and where they should be. Now, the best case scenario for them, obviously, is finishing second. If Geelong do slip up against Richmond and Brisbane take care of Hawthorn, they leapfrog them into second, locking in a Gabba qualifying final that no side would want to play, and they will be home. However, it gets really interesting. There is doom and gloom. They could finish as low as 8th. If they lose to Hawthorn, GWS, Fremantle and Gold Coast all get their jobs done. Suddenly Brisbane tumble from contenders to clinging on the 8th. Very unlikely, but could happen. And a fascinating narrative for us to take into round 24. Just how tough the top 9 is at the minute, and the gap between 9th and 18th is staggering. 4th, the Magpies. So they were the July premiers. 22 games this year, 15, lost 7, 60 points. Healthy percentage, 123. They've got Melbourne at the G, and the Pies have had a little bit of a tail wop. Losses have piled up, and belief is being tested, and they're in the papers for all the wrong reasons because everyone's enjoying their downfall. They're still right in the thick of it, though. Their clash with Melbourne lays as a massive chance to steady the ship, and also a potential danger game with having a new coach for Melbourne. Best case, beat the D's, Hawthorn topple Brisbane, and without overdoing it on percentage, Pies could finish third. It's very fine margins. Hawks just sit 0.4% behind. The worst case, though, is they lose, and the Magpies risk a slide. If Hawthorn, GWS, and Gold Coast all win, plus the Fremantle Bulldogs winner gets up, Collingwood could be shuffled down to 8th. It's going to be very interesting because odds are they finish where they are. But again, they could be in the top 4, double chance, or they couldn't be. It's real fascinating. In 5th, Hawthorn, they've played 22 games, 115, 7 losses, 60 points, 122.7 is the percentage, and they've got the toughest fixture, Brisbane at the Gabba. They've surged late in the season. They've had injuries at the start, injuries in the middle, but they've built a really good, solid foundation. But their biggest test comes now. You don't want to play the Lions at the Lions' Den. The best case scenario for these is a double chance. The Hawks must knock over Brisbane, or Melbourne upset the Magpies, and cross their fingers that the Suns do slip up. It's very tough, but it is a possibility that they could get up to third. Now, the worst case scenario, like a lot of these teams, is 8th. If they lose to Brisbane, their rivals Collingwood, GWS, Gold Coast, or win, the Hawks are left holding on to that last golden ticket of the finals. It's going to be very interesting, this one, because this game is very important. I don't think anyone's talking about it. It's a true eliminator. And if the Hawks do it, which I don't doubt they've got the ability, it could be golden. GWS played 22, 115, 60 points, 7 losses, 115.5. Now, this is where the percentage comes into it. They've got St Kilda, right? So, the Giants, they are streaky at times, but they have had some big wins and are one of the best ball-moving sides in this category. Their final spot is safe, but it's almost where we put them. Now, they're another team that could finish third. If they smash St Kilda, Brisbane fall to Hawthorn, the Suns stumble, GWS could fall into top 4 territory. This is an insane scenario, but this is one of them games where the Saints could make it hard, and it's going to be really fascinating. The worst case scenario is 8th. If they lose to the Saints, the ladder pressure does close in. Bulldogs Dockers winner plus Gold Coast could shove them down to 8th, should they win. Expected finish is going to be probably where they are, if we're totally honest, but it is going to be fascinating. The doubles chance is there. It just seems a little bit too far. Fremantle Dockers, the team that is at risk, but has it in their own hands. Currently 7th, with 15 wins, 7 losses, 60 points, 108.6 against the Doggies at Marvel. It comes down to this game, and that percentage where they could have beaten teams does come into it. They were out-muscled by Brisbane. They now face, effectively, what is an eliminating final. And it's so fascinating because if they knock off the Dogs, Collingwood, Hawthorn, and the Suns all fail to win, Fremantle improbably could be in the top 4. However, the worst case scenario is 9th, right? They lose to the Dogs, and Gold Coast has to drop both games, or GWS, and especially uses, they are 9th at the round of 24, and that is fascinating of what could happen. This is going to be a real nail-biting game, and I can't wait for it. Western Bulldogs, they have been impressive. 14 wins, 8 losses, 140.3, currently 8th. Fremantle at Marvel. The Bulldogs have just been there, and they're back in contention, and now have this elimination final at home. It's win, you're in, lose, and you're out. Now, the best case scenario, again, they're a team that could finish in the top 4. How that works is they beat Fremantle, Collingwood lose, Gold Coast slip up, and Brisbane knock over Hawthorn. Suddenly, the Dogs are top 4. Worst case scenario, lose, you're out. The season's right there. It's all in their hands. The only team that can't play finals from their own undoing. So this is really fascinating. They have to win, and they're in. Gonna be interesting. Gold Coast with the 2 extra games. They've only played 21, 114, 7 losses, 121 percentage, and a chance for 2 percentage boosters. They've got Port Adelaide at AO, and then Essendon at home. So the Suns' finals dream is all in their hands against 2 sides that they should win. Their slip up against GWS means they have to beat these sides. Now, it's fascinating because on paper, they should do it. The best case scenario is they win both. They finish third. If Collingwood drop games and GWS and Hawthorn upsets Brisbane, they are leapfrogging into third. And Gold Coast could be the number 3 side in the league for their first final series. Worst case, though, is they drop both matches. And then the narrative switches from a historic season to a historical choke. It's fascinating because obviously there's so much narrative at play. Ken Hinckley's final game at the AFL, and Essendon wanting to finish the season strong and not rolling over. Brad Scott isn't going to do it. It's so fascinating. It's all in their hands. 2 easy games. The easiest run home, really, out of all 9 sides we talked about. But stranger things have happened in football, but we do expect it to get it done. So now what we've done is we've simulated the season 1,000 times using our TPI model. So let's have a look how this will unfold. So here we are then, Carlton versus Essendon at the MCG. So when we did this, Carlton on average won this game by 29 points, right? So what that does to the ladder doesn't really affect it. The Collingwood one, they took this a staggering 99.9% of the time. So they actually have an average margin win in this game of 11 points. Now, Port versus Gold Coast, there's no ceremonial final game for Ken Hinckley. We have this one, Gold Coast winning this by 5 goals. Adelaide, they were almost at their imperious best. They won this one by an average margin of 40 points. Richmond versus Geelong, this is quite disappointing. Richmond going to finish the season poorly. A 62-point win for the Cats on average. Then we have West Coast versus Sydney. This is a fascinating game, and we have this one here on average, 38 points, Sydney. Then GWS versus St Kilda, a tight game, but the Giants win that one by 16. The Doggies versus Fremantle, heartbreak for Fremantle. The Doggies winning out by 10. This one is one of the tighter ones, 64% of the time. In our simulations, Brisbane won it. They win it by 7. And at the end, this is an absolute insane one. But they won this one by 78. So we'll just manipulate that like that. So that is what the final ladder would look like under our algorithms. Adelaide in at first, Geelong second, Brisbane third, Gold Coast fourth, 5th Collingwood, 6th GWS, 7th the Bulldogs, 8th Hawthorn, and Fremantle just missing out on percentage. And it's going to cost them that. Them games that Fremantle had where they maybe could have been a little bit better are going to come back and bite them. Just showing you how important at times percentage can be. But it's absolutely staggering to think that this is where we are in the AFL at the minute. Because Sydney, if you look at Fremantle's record, 15-8 with a 108, you would have finished 5th last year, just missing out to GWS on percentage. Absolutely insane. So fascinating that 9th would have actually, in this algorithm, just missed out on 9th. On 10th this year, Sydney would have just finished below Collingwood last year in 10th. Just shows you how massive the gap is at the minute between the top sides and the others. But it's going to be truly, truly fascinating. So there you have it. The full picture and all you need to know for round 24 and the finals race as it could unfold. The predictions are locked in my end, but now it's over to you. Who sneaks in? Who misses out? And more importantly, is there going to be a shock in the final round? Let me know your ladder bold calls. I'd love to hear some bolder ones. I'll be jumping in the replies as always. If you like this breakdown and you've enjoyed the content really, we've worked so hard to improve the quality. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Give us a chance if you find yourself coming back. And until next time, see you very soon. Pommy out.